Rent a Girlfriend Volumes 15 and 16 review. In the last two installments of Rent a Girlfriend, Kazuya Mizuhara embarked on a crowdfunding project to film a movie that Mizuhara could star in and showed her grandmother. At the end of the campaign, is in sight, but will be too able to less raise the money they need the time. Let's find out. The final days of crowdfunding has rolled around, so Kazuya, Mizuhara neighborhood new friend Mini, are putting everything they had into advertising to raise the money they need. But the campaign is the least of Mizuhara's worries right now as Mini accidentally reveals that Kazuya is in love with her heroine and has been for the longest time. After first, Mizuhara refused this, citing in the fact that Kazuya once said he has no feelings for her, but Mini pushes back and eventually, there's no path forward but for Mizuhara to face facts. But with so much going on, there's no time to ponder her feelings, especially with the final date of the campaign approaching. They need a final push to meet their target. Mizuhara approaches Omi, a friend and popular guy from her acting classes. In exchange for promoting the project on his Twitter account, Omi asks Mizuhara to go on a date with him, and reassures her that it will only be an outing as friends, but it will be on the final day of the campaign. With the chances of the movie being found riding on this agreement, Mizuhara goes along with it, but when Kazuya catches wind of the plan, he fears Umi is about to make a move and take Mizuhara for himself. Then in Volume 16, despite some hiccups along the way, we find the project has been founded and filming has begun. Kazuya is now in the role of producer, which means he's tasked with doing anything and everything he can to make sure the production goes smoothly. Being so busy, our main duo manage to put their romantic feelings aside, at least until the end, and having to shoot the final scene on their own. And worse still, take an overnight trip together to reach the location. Kazuya knows the importance this is for the film, and finds it difficult to concentrate on anything other than his excitement about being on a trip with his love interest. Mizuhara also finds herself struggling with the fact she'll be spending the trip alone with Kazuya. As important as this film is to her, as the pivotal of this scene is, I'm still denying that Mini's declaration that Kazuya has feelings for her has left our hero shaken. Throughout this crowdfunding arc, Mizuhara has seen how much Kazuya cares for. Given the time and effort they put in to make her dream of reality, she's forced to face her own feelings and realize that maybe she does care for Kazuya as more than just a client and a friend. Volumes 13 and 14 talk a much more serious tone that we're used to seeing in Rent a Girlfriend, and I'm happy to say the same is true of these two books. Sure, there's still some melodrama surrounding Mizuhara and Umi's date, but by and large, the focus is on completing the film project and is treated with all the seriousness it deserves. I also appreciate that Mini's intervention means that Mizuhara can no longer put off dealing with her feelings for Kazuya. I'm not saying the date anytime soon, given the series is 30 plus volumes. I'm skeptical there has been a change. It does not move us out of the cycle we've been stuck in of Kazuya pursuing her and having made no advancements. Actually, this does beg the question of what will happen with Ruka if she still considers herself Kazuya's girlfriend and makes this no draw out this arc, but she displeased. And the Kazuya and Mizuhara are spending so much time together. The film arc is not quite as it ends, but once it does include, I look forward from finding out what's on the cards next. This storyline with Mizuhara wanting to be an actress and show her grandmother and she's staring at something will be full from the early days of the series. So once it's wrapped up, this series is going to be a very different beast and they need to find something else compelling to move into, which hopefully will be the case. Volumes 15 and 16 of the series comes to the West thanks to Kodansha and can continue to be translated by Kevin Gifford. With lettering by Paige Humphrey. Both books are problem-free and read well, so no complaints here. Volume 17 of the series were released last month, and 18 is due for the English release in April. Overall, this arc of Rent a Girlfriend continues to be the highlight of the entire series so far. Not only is the film project's compelling storyline, but this reassures see some movement in the romance front now. Mizuhara can no longer deny either her feelings or those of Kazuya. 9 out of 10.